the people that were coerced, now we got to clean this up a little bit. The people that were coerced because they thought they were going to lose their jobs. Okay, I'm not going to step on your toes. I get that. But I would hope in the future that you understand that you could have stood up, because Anton Wheeler lost his job because he stood up. He was not going to play their game. And if more of us would have said, we're not no mas to all of it, it would have went away in one day. But those Negro whisperers can't help themselves. Them Negro whisperers, man, they can't help themselves. They be ranting. Well, we got to listen to the doctors. They don't understand the doctors that we knew when we were younger, right? That were focused on holistic health and all the things that brought value to it. Because you can't have economic power and you cannot have prosperity without health. You cannot have it.
Well, Kevin, they said you gotta trust the science. You gotta trust the science. But now, this man Fauci, a few weeks ago, go before Congress and said there was no science to social distancing. There was no science to putting on a mask. Putting on a mask and standing 6 feet away did not help anything.
Look how many young people have been dying, 58, 45, 32. Look at all that. And then what they did to the senior population. Listen, what they did to the senior population in this country breaks my heart every time I see it, because I see it every day. I know what it is. I've been in this. I know what's happening to our people, right? And you still got people talking about, well, we just didn't know. Why didn't you ask? Why didn't you ask? Why didn't you ask any questions? And the churches, the black churches, closed up their churches and zoomed in Jesus. And as soon as the pharmaceutical industry and the government said you can open back up and we'll pay you to trick your people to take the poison even more, they did it. They did it. That talked about your Christ and his sacrifice, right? And talked about all the things you read in the Bible.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute here. Wait 1 minute here. I got to say something about that deal. Let me say something. And I got some good people that I know that's in the church now. I know some good people that in the church. But them jokers knew well. See, they ain't lose no money. They ain't lose no money during COVID. The government paid them. They paid them what their budget was. They got paid, brother. They got paid. They got paid. But you want to know something? You want to know something? Boy, them preachers is happy COVID is out of here because they didn't heal not one person during COVID. They didn't deliver one person.
Right.
See, they got exposed during COVID. They got exposed because they couldn't lay hands on nobody. I ain't gonna lay hands on nobody. That joker they were spooked. They didn't have no faith in the Creator or their deliverer coming to heal them. You understand what I'm saying? They got exposed. And most of these churches today, brother, are empty, half full. When they do live broadcast, they only shooting the first 2 rows and they stacking everybody up in the first 2 rows if they ain't putting no dummies up in there dressed up.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
But you understand what I'm saying? I mean, they didn't deliver nobody. They didn't deliver nobody. They can't. Everybody lost their favor because they was exposed because of the hypocrisy that they've been practicing. So they were happy for a sin that when COVID finally left, man, they were trying to get the members back. They need that money back up.
Well,
so the new church is the small, tiny church, the storefront church that the big churches used to smile and laugh at. But now their church is a little small church. Yeah. Because they done lost them people, and the people ain't coming in there. Because they realize I don't need you to go to God because you ain't really helping deliver me. You can't even lay hands and pray and deliver. So they just became nothing but professional motivational speakers. That's all they are. They are not no spiritual deliverers. They are motivational speakers that use 3 scriptures when they get up and they done under 15 to 30 minutes. They finish. They're not going to stand up and teach the people.
All right, brothers.
They entertaining them. So our people, so the government, see this mass communication, this mass mind control, all of this is a part of it. They're quick to tell you certain things. If you go to them and you try to say, man, we got to teach the people, They want to tell them, no, we got to give them bits and pieces. They not ready for it. How the heck you not going to be ready for truth when you dealing with death every day in your life?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You know, so it's a programming. They have bought into the concept to keep the people deaf, blind, and dumb. So that they too can profit off of that. And that's why they use that suffering message.
You keep saying that you're giving your money to God instead of telling the truth. You're giving your money to the pastor. Why you keep doing this here? Why you keep doing it? Leave God out of the equation, y'all, because y'all keep acting like God broke. This God money. God ain't giving you no money and then he going to take it back. What's wrong with you? Whatever God gives you, he gives you to do what you want to do with it. Just say you want to give the money to the pastor and stop saying you're giving it to God, because God ain't broke. He owned the moon and Saturn and Pluto, y'all. He owned all the stars in the sky. And let me tell you this here. If he give you a building, he qualified to take care of it. He qualified to send somebody your way to pay the building off. That's the kind of God I serve. Now I don't know what God you talking about. The God I serve is rich. He's on the whole world. He don't need your money, not the God I serve. Now if your God wants you to give your money to the pastor, just say that. And stop saying, yo, God, you giving money to God like he broke and he needs your money. No, man needs your money, not God.
God is in you. And so I insisted to those people, there's no more God in me than in you. There's no more God in Jesus than there is in you. And in fact, it was not Jesus's purpose to show us that he was God's only child and that the rest of us were bastards. There are people who are more conscious of their divinity than others. This is really what I try to do in my ministry, make people conscious of their divinity. And when you become conscious of your divinity, then you begin to express it.
It is impossible for God to give you anything else because he has already given you everything. The disciples said, Lord, teach us to pray. And the very first word of the Lord's Prayer that Jesus taught them to pray was to say, what hour? Who left you out? The theologians wrote you out.
I thank you for what you said about, those institutions, because I don't see any value in them anymore. I mean, people always ask me, Kevin, how do you find your God consciousness? And I look at them, I say, breathe. Inhale God, exhale fear. Breathe. It's just that simple. Breathe. And then dial in. Dial in.
Kevin, that pie in the sky is over. You got to look for the God source inside of yourself.
That's right.
And you send out the right frequencies and the sine waves and the energy, then the evolution will occur. But you got to look at that God force inside yourself. See, most people don't realize this point here. I don't care what belief system you believe in. And none of it ever taught you to depend on a man. You understand what I'm saying? So you got people, when people realize that the same spirit, the same level of spirit that was put in Moses, Abraham, Muhammad, Yeshua, or the Jesus, and all of the prophets and all the prophetess of scripture was put in each and every one of us. You just got to learn how to activate that. They no more favored than you. They no more delivered than you. So the point I'm making is, see, this mind control is deep, man. This doesn't just go with the government and the agents of the government. It's about controlling human beings.
Listen, I was telling somebody this the other day about, we had this conversation. You might have heard I might have had it with you about Bill Cosby. So they was like, well, Kevin, Bill Cosby was a bad guy. I said, don't you ever talk about Bill Cosby to me ever again in your life. I said, what that man did for Black America and changing the image of what Black America, how it saw itself for decades. I said, if he had a sexual trias with someone, and that was an issue that he needed to resolve. But you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let me give you an example of what I mean. When he created the Huxtables, right? He gave an image of Black life and Black families that was so important for us at the time. He had enormous impact. They had to take that off the air. They had to destroy him. Never mind about him buying NBC and all of that. That was a concerted effort. We're not supposed to think like that. We're not supposed to be families like that, because that's what I grew up with.